No, I'm away. I'm actually. I'll come back to that in a second. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's live SEO Q&A with Mr. ChrisPalmer.org.
Oh, it just went live.
Yeah.
Took a minute.
ChrisPalmer.org.
That's me.
Sponsored by 38 Digital Market. Link is below for Mr. Randy's service. If you're interested in a PR campaign, a great deliverable, referring domain count going up, and all of that good stuff, then check that out. But yeah, Chris, I'm away on a little family vacation in Scotland. That
You're
is
with
what
your
the
family?
Yeah. Just it's Easter break over here. No, they can't hear you. They can't hear shit.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
They're upstairs just now, so you're safe.
All right, cool. Oh my goodness.
Chrissy's SEO chats prior to coming on live was a little
Black hat.
Yeah. Black hat. We'll call it that.
It's
but
funny.
Loud Egg is here. CNC SEO machine. I like it, Joe.
Cool logo.
We'll go with that. But yeah, we're here to answer your questions. So please do put your questions in the chat and we'll go through as many of them as we possibly can. Can be to me, to Chris, or just rant about stuff. That's also good. But yeah, I was just questioning Chris on SEO spring training, an event he went to last week. I was there last year, so we were just talking about who was there and all of the good stuff. So, Chris, would you go back?
I had a good time. Man, I had some actual. I would, but I had really this time around, just because my mindset was a little different on the business end of things. The conversations were a lot different. So I really enjoyed myself. I had quite a few really good chats business wise. And SEO / business wise, like with Randy, the Web 20 ranker dude, Mark, I forget his last name, but a bunch of people, man. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So I got some value. Facebook ads. Talked about some testing with Mark. Also some agency stuff with Mark as well. So that was helpful. Yeah, that's got to meet Chase in person. That was an event. Hung out with Holly for a little bit. I had fun. Saw a baseball game. Big baseball game. I never went to a Major League Baseball game, so I got to see the Yankees. I was pretty stoked about that. Yeah, dude.
Nice.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. What was interesting though is it was 2 sessions. So like they had like these like rooms. So they had a main stage, but then the people that had the small sessions, you had the opportunity to speak twice. So that way people could, see different things, So it was a double speak. Is that what they did last time?
No. One off.
I thought that was a little intriguing. So it was like a double whammy. It was like that was cool. I enjoyed that.
That was something I think I thought about for our event last year. Depending on what the speakers and stuff, I was going to suggest that, a double whammy so that people, you might miss out on one. Let's say it's you and Holly's talking at the same time and, I really want to go and see something new that Holly's talking about, then I miss out on you. So having that double whammy is sometimes a good thing, that you can get to see more speakers.
That's what it is. Man, you'd be surprised how many people asked, hey, are you guys doing the event again? I was very surprised. I was asked quite a few times. I mean, 6 or 7 times. Different people.
I've been asked quite a lot as well. On
top of that, and then everyone says, man, that was awesome. They really enjoyed that. Not only the information, but the decadence, the deliciousness, keep the food, no beverages. We could probably run and then just shrink the room. I think we're on, man. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
For sure. So I am not an Airbnb, but I'm in a lodge on a wee family vacation, as we do. But some questions have come in, Chris.
All right.
Mary, or MJ, I'm just going to call you MJ, Mary Jane. SEO Twitter is fascinating for beginners like me. What is worth following? So, Chris, are you a big Twitter user? Anyone you can recommend to follow for MJ?
See, I follow a few people. But here's how I use Twitter. I mean, you could take it or leave it. I do go on Twitter a lot. But what I have found is they have a search functionality. So what I do is I just search. When I go into search, I just put primary keywords or interests that I'm interested in off the top. So, link building testing, case study, studies, ads, performing ads, like whatever. Think of the angles and put it in, and it'll give you a list. Like, I think they have an AI or something in the background. Like, it'll even get related things. Like, hey, you might like this. People that read this like this. It was pretty cool. I would say I spend probably a half hour a week. Twitter's not really my cup of tea, but when I do go in there probably once, twice a week, that's what I do. I'm just looking, hey, who's got a new study? Hey, is there a new test? Hey, like what's going on? Or if there's an update, I like to see, all right, what's this guy say? What's this guy say? But I'm looking for people that don't have their name on the line. I'm looking for normal people. Like, hey, what did they say? Like the business owner that got cracked. Well, what happened? Exactly. That's what I'm looking for.
I am also not a huge fan of Twitter, MJ. One, I think there's a lot of misinformation on there. Some people on there like the sound of their own voice, and things like that. So that's something you need to be very careful of who you follow. I think there's some great people on there as well who put out great information. Of course, there is the same as any platform, but I also find Twitter very toxic. There's a lot of people who want to cause drama. The one thing I'd say, and I think I've seen Charles Float say it this morning, there's certain people in the SEO space who think that what they say is fucking gospel, and it's not. It really isn't, and no one really cares that much. You can have your opinion. There's more than one way to do SEO. You don't need to fight with someone. If Chris says, "Hey, Craig, I'm doing whatever, and this is the fucking best way to do it," fine. Like, great, Chris. I hope you make money. You're a friend of mine, and I'm pleased for you. But you don't need to, fucking call everyone out and say, this is the only way to do it, because that's certainly not the case. And you see a lot of that on Twitter, and you just grow tired of that kind of crap. We all want to see each other do well, and we've all got our own little tricks and little secret formulas. And a lot of people are not sharing that anywhere, let alone Twitter. That's the reality of it. So that's, I would say, be careful who you follow, MG. There are some great guys on there, though, but those ones that are trying to ram something, I'm going to rephrase that. Force things down your throat are probably worth a watching. But some great people on there equally.
Toxic's a good word.
Yeah, toxic, dude. It's the more. I think these people think that no one can find out who they are just because they've got a little fucking fake persona going on. That's the thing. But hey, that's just my take. Joe is asking, though, about Omega Indexer. Index me now. Any other tools to index non-index pages in GSC in bulk? Joe, you do have Synbite, but the one thing from today's mastermind call would be what Slory mentioned, utilizing automated link building tools for indexation purposes. And obviously he mentioned SEO Neo, but sometimes you can do that type of thing to get pages indexed, which works very well as well. So that's just some of my tips. But Chris, have you anything to help out with Omega Indexer and Index Me Now?
I mean, you said it's Invite. No, but generally, like, is it pages on your own site? Have you updated those pages? I mean, generally, if you've done an awesome job, they will crawl and see them. Like, why are you in such a rush to index them? And won't they index over time? Or are we trying to get external links seen? And if they're not being seen, and then we're doing them in bulk, why? And then secondly, if they're not being seen and being credited, then what type of links are these again? So I think there's just more questions that come up in my mind. But Sinbite's an obvious choice. And then don't forget, Google has a tool for indexing your own pages that works exceptionally well as long as it meets their filter criteria. Hopefully it helps you. Or you could always create a sitemap, go into Microsoft, and then it's really fun. Those, what should I say? We're already this far. You could always just use a cloud page and create a sitemap on a cloud page in order to index external links. So, I mean, I don't know. That's quite interesting because usually when you're doing it on your own, for some weird reason, it will only allow you to do your own sites. But when you're using a cloud instance and using a cloud map for XML, you can put whatever you want in there. I found that interesting. Hopefully that helps.
That's a real knowledge bomb there, guys.
Boom. There you go. 12 minutes in.
Did any of you do the Vietnam events? So Chris didn't. He was at spring training last week. Allegedly, I've been in Vietnam. I had someone message me today and they're like, dude, I know you're in Vietnam. And I'm like, dude, I'm really not. I did post last week because I was getting sick and fucking tired of seeing my friends all going out to Vietnam. So I posted like an old video clip of me boarding a plane and made myself look like I was going to Vietnam, but nah, I wasn't there. But had someone message me today and they're like, dude, I know you're fucking here. We need to meet. And I'm like, I'm really not. But it looked like a good event. I think Mads has spent a lot of time and effort perfecting that event, and it looks like great food, great turnout, great people. So I did have FOMO. Likewise with the SEO spring training, a bit gutted not to have been it either. But sometimes you need to rest up, and
it's true.
Yeah. But I'm gutted to have missed them. So yeah, but the Vietnam one, I think, still got 1 day to go. I might be wrong, but I think it's still on again tomorrow. So not finished yet. Alexandra Pilova. How to outreach cool SEO influencers like Craig. Are you suggesting that Chris isn't? Sorry, Chris.
That's okay.
You can shoot me or Chris a message. If you're on LinkedIn there, feel free to message me on LinkedIn if you've got something cool that you want to talk about. But please, please, please don't start with just hi. Do you ever get that, Chris, where people just like send hi, like they want to fucking start a conversation? Just fucking send me what it is you want to send me, and if I'm interested, I will reply.
1,000%. Or you probably go in there and maybe scan once a week. I don't know your frequency, but I get those quite consistently. Or sir, and then I really like, sometimes I'll just for fun, like, oh, hey, how are you? But then you go about your day and then you'll come back and there'll be like 42 messages and I'll be like, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the sirs, the highs, hello. Oh, and then the question marks.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Man.
You've lost me with the question mark. But nah, I think Alexandra, just reach out, send me what you want to talk about, and I'll happily look at it. No problem at all. But be aware, I do ignore the mundane hi and sir and question mark. So more effort is required on that front. But Fred Hunter has a question. Which volume of keywords, low or medium, is ideal for a new website? After how long should we start adding more competitive keywords on the blogs where we used low keywords before? So, Chris, should you just go after low to medium keywords from the get-go, or should you be implementing that stuff from the get-go, the kind of higher volume stuff? How do you do it?
Well, see, it's in local, there's nothing too crazy, right? But we're always going to go after, or at least put into position, high commercial intent pages. And then if we're going to create supporting pieces of content that's longer tail or lower volume type stuff, we're adding that in. I'm not looking to add high volume keywords into that page. I would have already had those initial pages up that are high volume, high commercial intent. I don't like that strategy. Like starting with all the long tails to get the initial traffic and then start adding the harder stuff, because page age is a factor. So I need this, in the cooking pot, in the, what's that called? The hot pot, brewing. Meanwhile, I'm trying to achieve some results here. So yeah, I'd go after both is the short answer.
It's yeah, I would say always go after both.
Just get lucky.
Yeah, dude, I've found sometimes the stuff that I thought would be harder actually ranks quicker than some of the so-called easy stuff. So,
dude, for sure, like locksmith, you're looking at Fort Myers and you're like, oh, I got this. Next thing you know, you're 4 months in and you're like, dang, it took 4 months.
It's one of those ones. I don't know if everyone's got the same mindset. Yeah, let's just go after the low to medium keywords, and they all just fucking ignore the big one. So maybe there is something in that, Fred. So just go after it. Why should someone else win and you don't? Fuck them. Give them a challenge.
Not.
Shoot for the stars, man. And no problem, Mary Jane. And hope you're keeping good. Twitter, our X, is great for sports, according to Joe. Yeah, sports was good on there. Can traffic from Twitter help with ranking in Google organic, Chris?
For sure. I think any amount of traffic or interest coming to the asset can potentially spark, get the algorithm engines churning, right? So yeah, if I can get traffic from here over to my asset with a high dwell time and page session views, definitely that could help me perform. Now, a few extras probably isn't going to do it, but if you were actually getting some interest and then from Twitter, they were going to Google and typing in your brand name all in the same session time, yes, I could see that being highly effective for you or helpful. Definitely.
And Javis, just to be clear, what Chris said, the asset, so that can also help with your maps or whatever the hell you're sending traffic to. So the asset,
that's right,
is as Chris cleverly worded it.
It just seemed crazy.
Yeah,
I get it.
Did he just do that? And then you go, why would he say that? And then you. But Ursol noticed that Home Advisor got slapped by FTC selling the same lead to 30 contractors. Is it a good strategy to target contractors buying leads off for SEO work to build your client base? I mean, 30 fucking contractors for one lead. That is ridiculous. Did you hear this, Chris?
Well, yeah, there's a small group. I was talking to a gentleman literally related to this. I guess Matt has a system and they're doing, well, that was his story. So with that being said, I guess that's a good thing for some people selling it to one. I see it as an opportunity for some, and it sounds like they're going to have to change their methods and how they do things. Doesn't Angie do the same thing though?
Yeah.
Don't they all almost, maybe not 30 is a bit much, but don't they offer them? Isn't that typical practice?
It's typical practice from the ones that I am aware of, but not fucking 30. I mean, that's a joke, Chris. Like 3. And he's saying Home Advisor is owned by Angie, but 30 is just a fucking piss take, Chris. You sell a lead, give it to a couple of guys, first come, first serve, the first one in gets it, all that stuff. That's fine, but 30, you have literally no fucking chance. I mean...
Well, and then are they selling it? That's an interesting, like, hey, here you go. Whichever, okay, you guys all pay, right? And whoever gets it first, well, good luck, guys. Oh, that sounds like an FTC. That reminds me of a song. The FTC won't let me be. Never heard it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I mean, I'm not crying for it. Home Advisor. I can tell you that much. Arsol. I think that's one for the good guys. Well, that they would be perceived as black hat, but in my eyes, that's the good guys.
Yeah.
It's one for the good guys.
And Alexandra, just in case you missed it, reach me on LinkedIn or through my website, fill out the contact form. Awesome job, haha, says Joe. Thanks. Dune ZD Electrical is here. Good to see you, Dune. A whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. Oh.
And all that stuff. Glenart, Enterprise SEO. We've seen a good drop in organic impressions. However, we have 20 competitors stealing our keywords on paid search. Will more paid search competitors drop worldwide organic impressions?
Will more paid search competitors drop worldwide organic impressions? I think that's the natural progression. Yes, because they're taking up more spot. They're going to take up more space, less probability of being seen. Yes, but yes. If that's what you're looking for. I don't think that's what you're looking for. Is that a statement or a question? The last part is, will paid search competitors drop worldwide organic impressions? Yes. Slowly but surely. Aren't they taking up more and more real estate as we speak? And then on top of that, if you go into the labs thing and click the button for SGE, they're taking even more space. So, yeah. Yes. I'm sorry, Glenart.
Yeah, I would agree. It's shit, but hey. Here is one from Ursol. He got told they're selling ghetto leads, so people are turning up at some crack house.
That was the FTC complaint.
Yeah.
Oh
God. Literally selling any old shit.
They're just like, here.
Yeah.
Man, weren't they clicking too? Like they're freaking everywhere. I mean, were they hurting? Well, I don't know. Well, they did revamp Angie. Oh.
Fred, can we make a strategy involving inclusion of 50% low-level keywords and 50% high-level keywords from the start? Ideally, how many primary and secondary keywords should we include in a blog?
So I wouldn't get too wrapped up in this percentage or that percentage. I know that the best thing to do is, no matter what, we know what our high commercial intent keywords are. That's a set. Whatever that number is, we need those. As far as blogs or supporting content, information, we need to adequately support the main idea. So that's generally 6, maybe 5 different blogs. But again, don't get caught up in a specific number. Now, as far as expanding each of those documents, well, that happens over time, right? You'll end up doing gap analysis over the course of time, expanding on the article, pruning the article. We call them refreshes. And you'll be adding keywords or adding more valuable keywords, stuff that's getting impressions, but it's ranking low. You add it to the page, it goes up. But no matter what, to start, it's high commercial intent and information assisted selling. This is information to support the main idea. So hopefully that helps you out, but don't get caught up in 50 and 50 and this and that. Like, how many products, how many services? Okay, we need those pages. Okay, each of these services need 5 to 7 pieces of information to adequately answer the questions related to the services or products that we have. Simple. And then over the course of time, we add more and more keywords or refresh the pages in order to perform better over time. That's it. Hopefully that helps you.
Simple and easy. All that is overthinking, Fred. Just go and crank out some stuff that's going to make you some money.
That's it. Yep. Follow the dollar. I think that's Zig Ziglar. Follow the dollar.
Alexandra is asking about SGE and the way where Google goes now, and have we noticed that SEO has become more and more expensive every year? What advice is there for newbies in SEO? So SGE, it is what it is. It's going to be forced upon us. It's very difficult for certain people in certain countries to advise, like me, because it's not out here. But Chris, what's your input in SGE first of all?
So I think it's still in the early phases, because they're taking a lot of detail from conversations and discussion. So I think there's going to be some tuning to be done, because it's not quite there yet. So that's going to evolve over time. And when it does, we'll grow with it, like we always do with SEO, with everything, right? Well, it still has to be trained, right, on something. So if it has to be trained, then that means there's data set to study, and then we could figure it out. So that's that piece. What's the next thing? Did you notice that SEO more expensive? Well, life is more expensive. Here, I mean, I'm not a political guy, but they were literally printing doll hairs, right? So if you print doll hairs, everything goes up. So of course, there's going to be a natural progression. A banana costs more. Well, this guy wants to get paid more then. So that's that. And then as far as advice for a newbie, I think the best thing for a newbie, don't chase shiny stuff, right? More tools, just, you'll think that's going to help you. But a tool generally is more of a cost, and then you're spending time learning it. What I would focus on is content and links if we're talking about SEO, and try this stuff yourself, because there's many lessons that you learn from the mistakes and deploying the actual asset. So create the content, optimize the content, build links to the content, do it again, like get the flow. I mean, there's a lot of lessons, but that's what I have for you now.
There's not much I can add to that, Alexandra. SEO proxies come into play, more tools out there, content, AI content tools are coming out. So everything costs money, and you've just got to roll with it. The barrier to entry into doing good SEO is harder than it was 5-10 years ago.
Sure.
Because you do need a lot of these tools to be able to do your job efficiently. So But I think the advice Chris said, just avoid shiny objects, avoid buying every tool, follow a handful of people that you feel that you can trust. And the reason I say that is I used to follow a lot of people as a rookie SEO, and I found out that 90% of it was fucking bullshit. So be careful who you follow, and stick to a handful of people. It's great not to just learn from one person. I think try and learn from a couple of people who've got different skill sets and different experiences, but try and not follow too many. That's what advice I would give for a newbie. Hopefully that helps you. But Blue Room Arts, I have a single page rank and rent website, currently use pay-per-click, but want to make an effort on SEO. A single page website.
Wow.
Obviously that can work with pay-per-click, but I think, what advice would you give to Blue Room Art, Chris, from an SEO perspective?
Well, I would first, so if you're new and you're getting into it, did it say new? Well, these are two wildly different concepts. I think the first step, even though it might sound crazy coming from me, is go and get that white paper from Google and go down the list. What are they looking for? Or get a checklist of what's inside the white paper that makes up a good quality page. Okay, check. Now, also, not only the page, they'll also give you clear instructions on what they're looking for as far as the overall site template. Things such as privacy, terms, GDRP, contact page, meet the team, this type of stuff, right? Technical, yada, 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 okay? Get those elements into place. You're going to have to build out a more robust website just to meet the criteria in order to be a winner. Once that's done, I would make a clear understanding of, okay, what's the niche or the category that I'm in? Take a look at top performers, but don't just look at them. Oh, they're ranking 1 and this has 3,600 search volumes per month. This has to be a winner. Take a look at their site. Take a look at the organic traffic that it's actually producing, and then try to think of the equation. What do I get per lead? Okay, if this guy that's ranking at the top for 3,600 per month volume keyword is only getting 50 visitors and I convert at 4%, right? Like, do the math, make it make sense. Then you'll know how much time and money you need to invest. But step one is getting the actual foundation and the asset in place. And then you can start executing on, okay, let's put these pages into place. I hope that helps.
And I hope that your one-page website, Blue Room Art, is not on a kind of Wix or Squarespace platform. If so, try and get onto WordPress or something a bit more SEO friendly. Again, it doesn't matter if you're only doing pay-per-click, but it does matter if you're trying to do SEO. So just make sure you do start off in the right platform, and go for it from there. Look at the competition, see what keywords they're doing, replicate what they're doing, in your own words, of course. And yeah, there's a lot of tutorials both on Chris's channel and my channel, even for complete beginners. I've got, if you go through the playlists, there's some real basic level information and videos, so you're well worth a watch. So hopefully that answers your question, but if you do have any more, stick it in the chat, because we still have 25 minutes left. So we'll keep working our way through the questions. Keep them coming, guys. Ursol's asking, do you use a register compass? And if so, what filters do you use? I am not a user. I am a is it spamzilla.io? Yeah, I always get mixed up with Spamzilla and Serpzilla. But yeah, Spamzilla is my tool of choice. But Registered Compass, Chris, are you a user?
Well, I've tried them all. I have Domain Hunter Gatherer, I have Register Compass, and I've used Spamzilla. I've used Dropcatch, Catch Tiger. I've used them all. I don't know what scale you're running at, but you'll quickly find that the time, the testing, the resources, the effort, the time, I would link up with somebody that has all of the tools and all of the assets, and they already have it down pat, and they could serve it to you on a bow with a bow on it. Now, if you just want 1 or 2 domains, then yes, I've used Register Compass, and it's great. As far as the filters that you're looking for, what I'm looking for is topical relevance for niche. So the category of the backlink, how many referring domains, and what's the age of the domain? Age, referring domains, topical relevance, and referring domains, and then what's the TF? That's it. We're off to the races. But I don't want it to drop. I want it to be sitting parked. It can't. We might be doing 2 different things though. I'm looking for something specific, and if I have to pay, instead of getting it for $8 or $12, and I have to pay $40, I'd rather just pay the $40. But or $50 or $100. I try not to pay more than like 4 bills, but it's up to you. I've paid a lot more. I spent $1,000 on search engine optimization tools.com. It was a freaking G. Yeah, but I thought that's a good name though, right?
Yeah.
That's what I
thought.
It's a bit
long, but
it's long, but I typed search engine optimization tools and then SEO tools, and it showed the same exact results, and I was like, winner.
That'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. So that's cool.
You've still not got chrispalmer.com?
Oh, I just used like a little screwdriver. No. That guy, that Harvard graduate and we just don't see eye to eye for some reason. I don't know why. It started to dawn on me why he wasn't accepting my offers. He just doesn't care, because it literally says coming soon. And it's said that now for at least 3.5 years. He's been coming soon for a while. Yeah. Can't win them all, but no. Unfortunately, I don't have it.
And Joe says more tools clog a workflow,
For sure.
in reference to shiny object syndrome and all that stuff.
Yep.
Glenart, I'm working for a tier 1 social media company. Can you think of a way to reduce so many competitors from poaching your keywords? LinkedIn and TikTok and Reddit are poaching our keywords. How would you prevent that?
Well, currently, TikTok, that's an interesting one, but Reddit, LinkedIn, so they're having their run, just like Quora and Medium. This has came up quite consistently in the last probably 60 days. They're having their run. They're having their shine right now. Just like, remember when Medium was just going, I can think back of countless. So currently, yes, they're being rewarded, and you can spend time, money, and effort on trying to recapture that, and maybe you'll get some. But what I would look for is, well, where aren't they? Start doubling down on that. It might not be optimal, right, for your business, but I'd rather get a little bit more than lose, because then you'll be losing time, right? So they're winning. They're winners. That's unfortunate. Figure out what's working. What type of keywords aren't they in? And that's where I double down at.
Yeah, makes sense. Fred, the best ways to select keywords: Keyword Planner or Ahrefs or SEMrush? What's your tool of choice?
For keyword research, I really like SEMrush. Ahrefs, I like their backlink checker. I know, some don't like the way it is, but I like their scan. It reads. SEMrush for keyword research, though. There's no question. I like SEMrush. Keyword Planner. Who makes that?
Google AdWords Keyword Planner.
Yeah, but isn't that blended in the SEMrush anyway?
I'm a SEMrush fan anyway. I wouldn't even consider the Keyword Planner. I don't know if it's blended, but
if you don't have the whatever it is, $100 on a monthly recurring basis to invest in SEMrush, or I think Ahrefs is more, then Keyword Planner could be an option. But I'd prefer SEMrush.
Yeah, I'm a big SEMrush fan and always have been, so I'm not going to go against that now. But Ahrefs is a good tool as well. But I think what I'd say, Fred, is you pay for the level of data that these tools provide. Those tools pay a fortune for the data that they provide to us. And it does come with that cost attached to it. So if you want more accurate data, get it from one of those two.
I'm literally in there every day though. Like that's like we use quite a few little tools, but I mean that's like a must. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like an essential asset. Like if it was like because I have Ahrefs, Majestic, and SEMrush. Like we have all three, and they for different things. But if they were like, okay, shut up, pick one, it would be SEMrush.
Yeah. It's the first thing when anyone even mentions a website to me, it just goes in there just so I can, just analyze quickly what the fuck's going on, what it is, what it's getting.
Top keywords, organic keywords. Yep. Referring domains. What's the anchor? All that fun stuff. Plus, it's fun.
Fred is also asking, is it okay to add competitive keywords on the homepage, even if they're not the traditional homepage keywords?
Is it okay to add competitive keywords on the homepage, even if they're not the traditional homepage keywords? So, all right. I would assume that the homepage is tuned around the brand, right? So could we mention that? That's going to be tricky because that term that you want to add, right, to the homepage is probably a term that you actually have a page for that you're also targeting, I would assume, right? So where that could potentially run into issue, though, is if I put it into the body text, not into a header, but I mention it in the body text a few times, it'll probably perform very well, but on the homepage. And note, everything's linking up to that homepage. You've done a lot of work on that homepage, I'm sure. And if I remember correctly, I think you got a lot going on that homepage, right? I would be very, very mindful because you might run into issues and then this page, it could be hurting this page. So, do your due diligence, but can you? Sure. Is that optimal for you? You have to take a look at the data. Take a look.
I would be very careful, Fred, because once you do it, it's hard to reverse. I stupidly targeted SEO Glasgow, which is the home city where I'm from, and had that as the homepage title tag, like Craig Campbell, SEO Glasgow, blah, 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 blah. And I did have, of course, an inner page targeting SEO Glasgow. But the homepage ranked for many, many years for that term. Obviously, it being the most powerful page on my website, but it wasn't particularly well optimized for that term. And I tried to reverse it and couldn't. And even to this day, Google still prefers my homepage for that term, even though it's since long gone, from the title and all that kind of stuff. So it's just be careful. Be careful. I don't know why I done it. I should have known better. It was just one of those things. I stuck up a blog and I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to launch this personal brand. And that's not so good.
Well, but you still have it. That's interesting. So you still want that one though, because you're still tuning the homepage for it.
Nah. I don't.
Title tag.
It can't be.
It is.
Wait a minute. Craig Campbell.
I don't. I didn't tell you. I didn't get anybody fired. Somebody's about to get booked.
What the fuck? that shouldn't be there. I'm going to change that right now. But yeah, that's not supposed to be there. It's not a term I particularly want to go for anyway. As you know, Chris, it brings more hassle than it's worth.
Oh, you'll get a lot of views and traffic and clicks, and it'll look like, oh, this is going to be a great month. But then,
yeah,
I know.
Don't know who the fuck put that in my title tag, but someone's going to get their ass kicked. But Blue remarked, it's WordPress thinking of using Webflow for new pages. Have you used Webflow, Chris?
I have. I love the concept, the idea, the ease and customization and the beauty and all the cool stuff. I hate that I have to use their servers.
Yeah.
You know, their IPs, their servers, they're like, man, I wish I could have that tool on top of Google. You know, like, hey, Google, can you put like a cool builder on top of your cloud? Probably not, but that would be sick though, right? Why can't there be Webflow for Google Cloud? Oh, that thing would go. That would sell like water. I'd be a buyer at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be so cool? Those Webflow sites are nice. They're very nice. Yeah. And that's how they draw you in. But then you start looking at performance, you're like, meh.
I'm just updating my title tag here.
Okay.
Action. Just need to make sure I
figured you had a page for it. That's why when I saw it, I was like, huh. See, the IMB makes sense. And then the name makes sense. Well, yeah. Who the hell am I telling? Oh, that's funny.
But Javis, Chris, your friend Ron from Osborne Digital always says focus on building a business and not SEO. I like Ron because he ranks for crazy keywords, but he says start or JV a business, should I? Or do paid ads and stop learning so much SEO for now?
Okay, so there's three aspects of what you mentioned there, or four really. Ron's a great guy. The next piece of it is JV and business. The business aspect, that's a decision that you have to make internally, right? Because you're going to be investing a lot of time, effort, and mental resource on it. So that's a decision for you to make. As far as SEO and paid ads, why wouldn't it be both? That was a very big mistake or a blunder on my personal behalf where I was like, oh, I'm the SEO guy. I would highly, highly, highly recommend to invest some time in both aspects of marketing because they're both very, very important and they work very closely together. So that's my best advice.
Hopefully that helps you. Martino, sorry, I did scroll past this. I don't know how, but we will answer it now. If the main keyword is no longer showing in impressions, but secondary keywords are showing, but service page with those keywords are positioned 50 to 80, would you add more keywords to the service page?
The main keyword isn't showing, but the secondary keywords are showing, but the service page with those keywords are positioned 50. I'm hard visualizing this in my mind. Do you have an answer? I need to read it one more time. All right. Yeah, so if the main keyword is no longer showing an impression, but secondary keywords are showing. So I have a page that I've optimized for a primary key term. It's not ranking for primary, but it's bringing in all these secondaries. But the service pages with those keywords, so that means I have two pages that are actually tuned for the same thing, right? All right. So whatever the page is optimized for, double down on whatever that is that you're optimized for. If it's at 50 or 80, well, then clearly, maybe not clearly yet, but there's obviously, Google doesn't generally make too many mistakes. this means that my on page, my technical, my off page there's something wrong there, right? So the page that's optimized for the keyword that we want to win, if it's at 80, I need to do some work. Now, as far as those other pages, if it's bringing in these secondary keywords, but it's optimized for this, oh, awesome. Depending on where this position is, if it's like position 8 or 9, but it keeps bringing in more, add those words to the page, but don't forget to build anchor text for the primary and increase density for the primary also. Or get more in tune, like with entity and LSI or co-occurring key phrase, whatever you want to look at for the primary term. Like, it sounds like your optimization is off. And no, you shouldn't have 2 pages tuned for the same thing. So I hope that helps. That was an interesting one. Thank you for that. Maybe I'm totally, he's like, no, I meant this. You know?
How much time does it take to rank for keyword SEO services in North Carolina, assuming we are doing 5 guest posts in a day?
What is it? North SEO services in, that's the primary term, SEO services in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Like, SEO
a day is an outrageous amount, honey.
Number 1 is clutch. Oh, I see. And then you got semi. Well, I will say is this. So that particular term, if you can understand the intent of what Google's rewarding for that term specifically, SEO services in North Carolina, it's actually being rewarded as an informational query, because it's doing best in top lists, right? So if you understand the intent, I would put my sites on 8 months. And if you get there faster, hooray. But those players that are at the top, I assume that Digital Rush or Design Rush or whatever, they've been there a long time because they're surrounded by Clutch and SEMrush, and Google put them right in the middle. So we have authority assets that are targeting an informational query, best of list, top list. And then there's a main player. They've probably been there a long time. They're probably testing number 5. And then that guy, they're probably flip-flopping them back and forth, like to show them both love. And then they got the 2 dominant forces there. Like I would look at that SERP and say, hey, you'll probably hit 6 or 7 in a short period of time. But in order to get up to the top, it's going to be a lot of work. So I don't know if that's the best term for you, but it's up to you.
Yeah,
of course.
So no, that design on the website is at least 5 years old. Unfortunately, I do probably need to do it up a little bit, but can't be asked.
I know I'm gonna bite the bullet. I got some some really nice images taken, professional images. So I think I'm gonna pay somebody to make it fancy.
I paid someone about a year ago to do mine up again, and I threw it in the bin. I just reverted back to the old one. I fucking hated it. Like, I paid him, and it wasn't the guy's fault. It was, I just didn't know what I wanted. And then people were like, it doesn't really look any different.
They're like, oh, okay, well.
The one you got, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Fuck it. Put it in the bin. He had it on the Oxygen template, which I hated using. The template I currently use, I can go in there and do shit really fast. So I reverted back to the old one.
So you had Oxygen, and then all the custom, You got it, yeah. It's intense, but I like it. Yeah.
So yeah, I was just like, fuck this. I'll just go back to the old one.
I understand. And then too, I noticed like there's a cost there with the pretty stuff. Like I've seen a lot of gorgeous sites, but that 3.8, 4.5 second load is a little, I like loading at 700 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Like it flies. Yeah, but I'll take 1.2, 1.5, but that 3-second site, I don't know, man. It's unacceptable. David Hennessy.
David Hennessy.
How do I know that name?
Yeah, I think he's not been on for a period of time, but he's
Let's see.
Yeah, he's an old watcher who pops in now and then. So you've probably seen him in the chat.
Is that how?
But David is asking, is it just him, or are you guys hearing the cost of retrieval nonsense everywhere as to why Google would not be using NLP more heavily to understand text because the compute power would be too much? Have you heard people saying that, Chris?
I haven't. Cost of retrieval. No, but it's not something I was looking for. Like I haven't. No.
I have heard it being used. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but there are people out there who use this. And would it make sense when you see it? Obviously there's a cost to Google, crawling and indexing and doing all of that kind of stuff. Can we really go and do all of that kind of stuff, or would it be too much power? It kind of makes sense, but when who the fuck would know the answer to that, really? Not some SEO guys out there, using that as a way to get around their pages not getting indexed or whatever, or whatever it may be. Of course, AI has brought a lot of problems on in terms of resource that Google would have to use to do the thing. But I have heard it being used, not massively, but there are certain people in the industry who are throwing that stuff around. I'm on the fence as to whether I buy it or not. We know how to get things indexed. So it can happen. But could Google be using NLP more heavily to understand text? Yeah, and I'm sure they will over a period of time. Is that not what they've maybe done with the last update and flushed away a lot of the crap? Who knows? So, but yeah, I've heard it being used, but not overly used as such. There's just a few people who've probably been mentioning that for the last 6 months that I've seen talking on stages. But yeah, I'm not sure I buy into it. And IMDb section, LOL. Webflow, use Bricks, a visual site builder for WordPress. Good suggestion there from Business Growth Ready.
I like Bricks.
Javis, I'm afraid of spending so much time in SEO because everyone is saying SEO has 2 years left. If you could do one SEO or pay-per-click today, what is it? I'm going to stick with SEO because it's all I've ever really done. I don't think, I've taken the time out to learn pay-per-click and stuff. I try and learn a lot as much as I can from YouTube and various other platforms. But SEO certainly doesn't only have 2 years left. They've been saying that since fucking I started in SEO, which was a long time ago. But Chris, what's your feelings on that?
Well, 2 years left. I mean, that's hard to say. Who knows? It depends on the day. I might say 6 months left. Some days I'll be like tomorrow. So that's who knows with that. I doubt that it's going to go away. But as far as if I had to pick one, I think that comes down to, well, what's your starting point? Do you have the experience already so you don't have to take losses in order to learn? And if you have a boatload of money or dollars, you can do a lot with PPC. People run entire businesses off of PPC and you don't even know their names, right? I met a few of them and I'm like, you're doing what? Like just ads, dude. I'm like, wow, amazing. I couldn't choose. I think they're both highly valuable. If I had a boatload of money, I'd go PPC. But I like long game and I like that complementary traffic. I love SEO. So I love SEO, but if I had a boatload of money, like just a ton to burn and just to make dollars with, PPC.
Not much else you can say to that, Travis. It's a good, honest answer. Martino, the guy who had the primary page disappear and the service page was popping up for all the service keywords, he said, here's an example. Concrete, contractors, and city is the main keyword, but the top impressions are concrete, driveway, city. So,
oh, I see. So the keyword that carries the volume, or the thing that's actually you want to go for, is concrete contractor. But your site right now is starting to get impressions for concrete, driveway, city, right? So your concrete contractor isn't ranking yet, right? Because that's the harder keyword. That is a good keyword. It's got high volume. I know it's a good one for a fact. And you're getting early impressions, and you're like, oh, should I run with it? Well, I think you could, in the body text, add concrete, driveway, city maybe a couple times, right? But I wouldn't go changing up that page, because I bet if you type in concrete contractor city and then you type in concrete driveway plus city, it's probably going to show very similar results. So that means it could be contained into one page. So just increase the density for driveway on this page, get your early wins, but what we want is that contractor. So hopefully it helps you.
And we'll quickly do the last one. If you're doing Parasite on Medium, is there any value interlinking other articles in Medium, or does it not work like that with a guest post?
Why wouldn't it work like that? I mean, there's still value. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be something insane, but why wouldn't I want? Because at the end of the day, the reason why there's value is because it's helpful for the end user. You get value because it's helpful. So if these are related articles and it makes sense, did you ever notice that the top performers that are on Medium and they write on Medium, that's like they treat it like their website, that they always cross-reference and they just magically rank really, really high all the time? So I think it makes perfect sense, not only for an SEO standpoint, but for the end user.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps you, Luke. And David Hennessy, thanks for the honest answer. Might be the X logo feeding me the same topics from SEOs in my feed. That's why at the start, whoever mentioned Twitter, yeah, it's a cesspit of misinformation in a lot of cases. So,
especially if you look at anything negative, then it just loads you up like, brrr. Yeah. Stay focused, David.
Fuck that shit. But guys, we are out of time for this week. But thank you for all the questions. Thank you, Mr. ChrisPalmer.org or ChrisPalmer.org if you want to find Chris for any of his services, advice, or just follow him on YouTube and grab all that free shit if you're low on budget and you just want to learn, and then it's a great place to learn. And finally, if you do want to check out the channel sponsor, 38 Digital Market, the link is below if you're interested in digital PR campaigns from Mr. Randy Roday. And make sure you do like and subscribe to this channel as well. But we will be back at the same time next week. So we shall see you then.
See ya. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Whoa.